New allegations against Georgia Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker have surfaced. The woman who claimed Walker paid for her abortion in 2009 gave birth to a child of his years later. Walker denied the abortion story, calling it a, quote, flat out lie, saying he does not know this woman. But the Daily Beast revealed that the unnamed woman and Walker conceived a second child years after the abortion. CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion joins me now with more. Hi, Nikole. So Herschel Walker spoke in Atlanta Thursday. How is he responding to these allegations?
Yeah, well, he actually spoke, excuse me, in a small town in Georgia, actually outside of his child home in southern Georgia. So it was in a more rural setting. And this really was the first campaign event that he has had since all of these allegations broke. And so he did take some time to speak to reporters after giving kind of a standard stump speech. But he basically said that once again, in his view, this was all a lie. What was also interesting is that he was asked about whether or not he has spoken with any of the mothers of his children, considering this allegation appears to be coming from a woman who says that she is the mother of his child. And he responded to the reporter's question by saying, why would I? And then furthermore, he continued to pin these allegations as a political attack, pointing fingers at Democrats because he says they want this Senate seat. And so that's why he claims that he is under attack.
Well, how have these allegations affected Walker's popularity among Republican voters?
Well, it really hasn't seemed to make much of a difference. Obviously, we have to see kind of what continues to come out with respect to this story. But so far, most voters appear to be standing with him. You know, one of our producers talked to some supporters at this event earlier today, and one of them saying that, you know, he would be disappointed if he found out that Herschel Walker lied about this episode, but it may not be enough to necessarily sway his vote. You know, another voter that we spoke to down there simply said that, you know, they felt that this was something that happened a long time ago, that people can change. And so this female voter that we spoke to said that she probably would support Herschel Walker. And even when I was down in Georgia a couple weeks back, that seemed to be the general sentiment among voters in terms of looking at some of his past issues, that it was something they were willing to look beyond, more so because it was more about, you know, voting for somebody or supporting a Republican candidate who aligns with their views.
Well, how has Herschel Walker's opponent, incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock, addressed this issue?
Well, you know, he was asked about it today. He also had a campaign event in Savannah, Georgia, where he was asked about these allegations, and he has, for the most part, tried to steer clear of weighing in directly on this. But he said that his position, at least on the issue of abortion, hasn't really changed, that he more or less supports a woman's right to choose. And he also said, you know, ultimately this is going to be up to Georgia voters, and that he believes that this election is about who can best represent the state in the U.S. Senate.
Well, Herschel Walker's son, Christian, was very vocal in publicly criticizing his father. How is Herschel Walker handling that?
You know, this is really interesting because certainly their family laundry, dirty laundry, if you will, is really kind of being aired out in public, whether they want it or not. And traditionally in the past, it seems that, you know, Christian Walker, this conservative influencer on social media, that he has generally had a pretty good relationship with his father. So it really was kind of a pretty stunning reversal to see him call his father out in the way that he did, especially considering that he appeared even with his father early on during the campaign. So that being said, Herschel Walker was asked about that and asked about his son's comments and his son accusing him of being a liar. And in essence, you know, Herschel Walker just said, you know, I love my son no matter what he says. So that has kind of been the line that Herschel Walker has towed. We haven't really heard that much from Christian Walker since some of his rants on social media. He stayed relatively quiet over these last 24 hours, if you will. But certainly, again, this will be another thing we'll have to see how it plays out over the course of these developments.
All right, Nikole Killion in Washington for us. Nikole, thank you.
You bet.